Eve, 1v1 versus every brawler in Brawl Stars. We are going to find out just how good this space flea is. Before that though, let's check out her abilities to see what we're working with. Eve is the Chromatic brawler for the next season of Brawl Stars, and if you want to guarantee getting her in the first season at tier 30, you're going to need that Brawl Pass, and if you do decide to get the Brawl Pass, I would really appreciate you using code LEX. It goes a long way in helping support me, my family, and this channel. Thank you all very, very much. Now, Eve is a long-range brawler who has 4,500 hit points, and for a long-range brawler, that's pretty darn good. For her main shot, she shoots out 3 eggs, each with a different size that corresponds to how much damage that they do. The first small egg will deal less damage than the last large egg. Now, you can actually reverse that order though, so that the more powerful egg is first with her star power called Unnatural Order. This is a decent star power because her shots take quite a while to unload, and it's much more likely that you hit your first shot and not your third one. But if you want to put all of your eggs in one basket, you can choose the second star power, which is kind of broken, and it's called Happy Surprise. What this star power does is, if your third shot hits an enemy, a little hatchling will pop out and then pause for a second and then attack the nearest enemy. Each hatchling will deal 1,200 damage over time at 300 hit points per second for 4 seconds. Now, you can kill these hatchlings before they get to you, so it's not all is lost if you get hit, but it will take some extra damage to get rid of them before they deal damage to you. And speaking of hatchlings, that's pretty much what all her super is about. And with this super, she places down a pod that contains 3 hatchlings. After a few seconds, they will hatch and seek out the nearest enemy, but be aware that the pod can be destroyed before it hatches, so you'll have to set it somewhere safe, or at least safe enough that you can protect your babies, because that's what all good mamas do. On top of that, the hatchling's health will actually slowly decay after they hatch, so you can't put it like way in the back because they will have basically no health by the time they get up to the enemy. Now, she has 2 gadgets which are both defensive gadgets, but by far her most unique and interesting ability is that she can actually float over the top of water. No other brawler can do that, so if you play Island Invasion, you can just go off the map and roam around the outside, I guess, until the smoke comes. That's one way to do it. But back to her gadgets, and she has 2 of them. The first one is called Gotta Go, and similar to Brock's rocket laces, she will leap in the direction you're moving. However, what's different is she will leave a hatchling when she jumps, which will again seek out the nearest enemy, latch on, deal 1,200 damage. Her second gadget is called Motherly Love, and if you activate this gadget after your super has been placed, whenever the hatchlings spawn, they won't attack an enemy. They'll actually seek out your allies, your friends, and they'll heal them rather than attacking enemies, and it actually heals quite a bit. One note is that we will not be using this second star power in these tests, even though it is considerably better, and this is because the hatchlings take too long to get going, and in these tests they're basically already over by the time they would go to deal any kind of damage, so it kind of does nothing. So we've chosen to go ahead and use the first star power and front load all of that damage. Also, these interactions will be base interactions only. With over 50 brawlers and rising, if we included a base, gadget, and super interactions, these videos would be like 30-40 minutes long, so we can't do that anymore. But I will be showing you a lot of gameplay and extra interactions throughout this video, so that'll be fun to watch. Now let's get this party started with the Trophy Road Brawlers. Most of these interactions are fairly close, which will be a theme throughout this video, but you can see that she has one big weakness, and that's her unload speed. It takes quite some time for all 3 shots to leave her spaceship. I guess the cannon in her spaceship? I don't know. And in interactions like the one with Dynamite, you can see how that makes all of the difference. Her other big weakness is on display here too, and that's that she has a very slow reload speed. The tanks were able to close the distance and take her out before she could get off a 4th shot. It's really, really slow.
Don't make me go there. Avenge me, children! Oh my, oh my! Kids, follow mommy. You'd better start behaving. Who would hurt a mom? This isn't a place for...
Okay, so 2 big tanks in this set. Yeah, that's kind of bad news for Eve, but the fact is that Rosa can get off all 3 shots in the time it takes Eve to reload just 1 shot. It's kind of crazy. I guess the lesson here is don't get near tanks. I mean, you probably knew that, but if they do catch you off guard, hopefully you've got that gadget and you can leap away from them.
I don't want to... This isn't a place for my babies. I don't want to... Follow mommy. I don't want to say this twice. You'd better start behaving. Don't make me avenge me, children!
She does a little bit better here, but still not like tremendously good. I wouldn't mind seeing her unload speed buffed by just a little tiny bit, but that's not to say that I don't think she's going to be good. In fact, I don't think that at all. I think she's going to be pretty darn good, but I'll tell you exactly how good I think she's going to be when we wrap up with all these interactions. Now, let's just see how epic these epic brawlers are.
I can't leave my children! This isn't a place for my babies. You better start... Don't make me go there. Avenge me, children! Time for a field trip! Oh dear, now I have to use force. I leave everything. Oh dear, this isn't a place for my baby. Avenge me, children! Who would hurt them? I leave everything to the babies. You're grounded. This isn't a place for my baby.
In the battle between the 2 long-range brawlers, Piper wins purely because her shots are unloaded and travel faster than Eve's. However, that's not the case with Bee, as she gets beaten by a flea in a bang-bang ending. Now, to further illustrate just how slow her unload speed is, Edgar killed her before she could even start to shoot her 2nd shot. Oof. Now let's take a trip down Mythic Road to see if she can fare any better.
Don't make me go there. I can't leave my children. Avenge me, children! This isn't a place for my babies. Oh my, I'm not mad. Time for a field trip. Oh dear. A place for my baby.
This one was kind of split down the middle. Mortis won because those shots are staggered and he was able to dash out of the way, and a few of the other tests were very close. Max won, well, thanks to the buff that she just got, but all in all, it was kind of a wash. Looking to assert some dominance though, let's see how she does against the legendary brawlers. Once again, these tests were very close. Although she does beat Spike in a photo finish, if he stands in just the perfect spot on top of her, well, this happens. And the same thing with Meg. In her normal form, yeah, she kind of gets obliterated, but in her mech form, well, have a look for yourself. So then, only one group remain. Let's see how she does against her Chromatic brethren. Some of those were really close, and others, well, not so much. You've seen a lot here, and what do you make of it? Well, I'll tell you what I think right after you listen to Eve's voice lines.
Time for a field trip! Get 'em, kids! Aren't they lovely? Aren't they lovely? I gave you life, but really, you gave me mine. How adorbs! Mommy loves you! How do you like your eggs? Playtime, kids! Off you pop! This isn't a place for my babies! I'm not mad! I'm disappointed. I can't leave my children! I leave everything to the babies. Avenge me, children! Don't make me go there. I don't want to say this twice. Oh dear, now I have to use force. Oh my! Who would hurt a mother? You're grounded. You'd better start behaving. Look at this primitive life form. Oh, pathetic. What a waste of resources. Mind your language. Oh, be better, please. Sorry, but you deserve that. Oh, wait till I tell the kids. Mother knows best. I wear the pants in this family. One flea in the place to be. The queen flea, that's me. Ooh, Kids, follow mommy. Useful and mostly harmless. Doing it for the children. I am your forever friend. Mommy needs to find a host.
If you ever get tired of hearing your mom gripe at you and, tell you what to do, you might not like Eve's voice lines, just saying. So how good is Eve going to be? Well, if you base it solely off of these interactions, you'd probably guess maybe average or slightly below, but I don't think that this tells the whole story this time, and here's why. Long-range brawlers typically do rather poorly in these 1v1 interactions for multiple reasons, from their range to their hit points to how you actually have to place the brawlers to get a somewhat reasonable test. And while Eve is a damage dealer, I kind of think of her more as a hybrid of damage and support. Not only does she have the distinction of being the only brawler that can go over water at will, but also her hatchlings. You didn't get to see them very much in these tests, but trust me when I say they're going to be crazy. If her second star power is not nerfed before release, you are going to see the hatchling hatch apocalypse? You can see like 5 or 6 on the field at one time, and add that to the unique positioning that you're going to be able to get with her over the top of water, and you've got a totally new type of brawler that is going to do pretty darn well. That's not to say that she's perfect, because her unload and reload speeds are pretty painful to play with, but that is her big weaknesses. All in all, I'd give Eve, with her second star power, a solid 8.5 out of 10. She's that good, but without it, I'd say like 7 out of 10, mainly due to the 2 big weaknesses that she has. But what do you think? Let me know down below. Enjoy the update.